Education is training, and the entire American population is out of work because they're untrained. What is education then? On top of information, education, and knowledge, there is intelligence. Intelligence is the ability to know. It is not knowing. It is the ability to know. Do you have the ability to know? This is what makes you knowledgeable. If you have the ability to know something, you can become aware. And once you become aware, you're free. Here's awareness. Here's knowledge. An electrician walks in the room. Electrician walks right in the room. Certified electrician. The electrician looks at the room and sees lights, amps, ohms, wires. The electrician looks at this very room and sees a completely different room. Why? Because the electrician has electronic knowledge. The brain cannot see without words. The brain kind of looks at things and notices them. But if it doesn't have a word for that thing, it doesn't see it. You walked in this room right now. You're not thinking about amps, ohms, voltage, how long these lights could stay on, what's the wattage in these bulbs, what kind of bulbs are there? None of this is crossing you, you're just in the room. The reason this is, you see the light, you see it all around you. Or should I say, you notice the light all around you, but you don't really see it. Only an electrician with electronic words is aware of an electronic room. So the electrician comes in and sits down. A plumber walks in right after. The plumber sees a completely different room. Why? Because the plumber has plumber knowledge, plumber words, a plumber life. Walks into the, you know what, those pipes right there, that's carrying hot water. That one there is carrying cold water. Now see how it's being brought. We walk into the room, don't even think about pipe. We're in the room. There's pipes in the room. There's water going all through this room right now. But because we don't have plumbing knowledge or plumbing words in our vocabulary, plumbing reality becomes invisible to us. You're in plumbing reality, but because certain elbow pipes and wrenches and the language of plumbing is not your language, you could be in an environment with pipes, with water, and not see it. So the electrician walks in, the plumber walks in, they sit next to each other. The electrician sees a completely different room. The plumber sees a completely different room. They're in the same room. Now they're sitting down. Two knowledges, two awarenesses are seeing their awareness in their environment because of their words, because of their vocabulary, because of their knowledge. No one is telling them what their environment is. Their knowledge is creating their environment through their perception. So the electrician sits down and the plumber sits down. Both seeing two different rooms. A painter walks in the room. Room changes a third time. The painter walks in. That's not just white paint. That's a certain name to that paint. There's a number on that paint. There's a certain, that's not just white against beige, if that's even beige. The painter would say, no, that's off-white, eggshell white, or summer white. Oh, that's some kind of beige. No, that's yellow, that's mustard. The painter has all kinds of painting knowledge in his head. So when the painter walks in the room, even though the plumber sees the room like a plumber, the electrician sees the room like an electrician, the painter walks in and sees the same room like a painter. All of this is knowledge. All of this is awareness. What are you aware of? The things you are aware of really is determined by your level of vocabulary. The less words you know, the less you can see in your environment.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? I'm back, bitches. God damn it. I'm not here to play games with people, all right? Legitimately, I had to take some time off and handle some business, all right? Legit. But today, I wanted to bring y'all this video about some shit because I wanted to have a conversation about the managerial revolution, right? And it's an important mentality to understand, right? And I'm always on the cutting edge. I'm actually usually ahead of most motherfuckers when it comes down to things. And this is an important mentality to understand, okay? Because as KRS just said, you don't know what you don't know, right? That's really what it is. There's known unknowns and there's unknown unknowns.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Things we don't know that we don't know.
What?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more time.
Now you ask me, why would I bring up the managerial revolution? Well, because motherfuckers keep bringing up this motherfucker to me all the goddamn time.
I and my colleagues have been saying that we're very much in favor of a further investigation to the next phase from the WHO, who has already done a phase 1, and we're strongly in support of continuing that to a phase 2 investigation.
So what I want to talk about today is a book by James Burnham from 1941 called What is Happening in the World, the Managerial Revolution, right? And basically it's a Trotskyite's take on where the world is going, right? Instead of standing here going, oh man, it's moving to socialism, it's a critique on capitalism being taken over by management. And I'll be honest, I think 1941 and the New Deal politics were a continuation of what had already begun under, J.P. Morgan and his Morganization of corporations, right? This is something that individuals really have no idea about, and they don't really think about as a whole. But it's important to understand where J.P. Morgan would go through and he'd take two companies and he would combine them and have them be run off of, he would take out, the ownership class of this, the actual owners. And he'd put college educated, management in place, and they would stand here and run these two corporations as one entity and end up making things better. Now, J.P. Morgan ended up bailing out the United States government on several occasions, and he became known as a United States banker. And he basically said, all right, well, we're going to set up what's known as the Federal Reserve in 1913 so that I don't have to keep doing this. And it's a conglomeration of banks who micromanage the economy and act in ways that they think will allow them to mitigate depressions and, bad fucking, economic situations from happening. But the truth of the matter is they don't do shit. But this is the beginning of this managerial revolution where you had the ownership of the companies end up not getting the training long term because, like, generationally, the kids would not stand here and be trained in what the company needed, right? Because, like, back in the day when they were, like the old form of upper echelon Americans of, the higher class Americans were landowners, right? And then being a landowner, all you had to know was you had to know farming and management of people, right? Whereas with the technical aspects of a corporation that is running on a multi, international scale or a multi-country scale or whatever the case is, you had to have the technical expertise. And Andrew Carnegie did, to be able to make steel and understand what you were buying and things of this nature. And long term, this effect wouldn't happen. It's the same way that, you had kings who were great, and then you'd have shitty kings after that because their kids wouldn't be educated in the ways of being a leader that they probably should have, and they never had the opportunity to struggle, because usually, like, you know what I'm saying, like, great kings come from, you know what I mean, humble beginnings, or beginnings that, you know what I mean, formed them into being better men, right? They had better character. And that's how we actually stand here and look at good kings. Now, in knowing all this, right, you have to understand that, like, the managers have been running society for the past 100 years, right? The same schools, you know what I mean, look at the cathedral, right? You know what I'm saying? Mobugs the cathedral. This is why it's important, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we read all the fucking backstory on all this shit. It's fucking important we go through all this, right? The cathedral produces individuals, right? Especially the Ivy League cathedral, you know what I'm saying? Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and I mean fucking UCLA, all these places that are upscale fucking, you know what I mean, colleges. They produce, right, politicians, corporate management, you know, fucking media types. These are where the upper echelons of our society come from, and basically they're micromanagers. All these individuals that we have all these conversations about, right? Especially the Democrats in particular, right? You know, because like they actually did a study of where they stood here and they looked at, you know what I mean, where the Democrats, you know what I mean, went to college, and where, you know what I'm saying, Republicans went to college. Republicans actually tend to go to state schools, and, you know what I mean, the Democrats are the ones who are going to Harvard and Yale and Princeton. So these the same places that produce the corporate managers, the media, and the government, you know what I mean, leaders, right, are all the same colleges, right? They're all the same places. And these individuals all have the same mentalities. This is important to understand. When we start looking at where's all this coming from, why is all this happening? This is something that nobody else is going to talk about and link together, because, like, let's be honest here. All right. Nobody else is really even looking for any of this bullshit, right? They're just like, everybody else just wants to make you mad. They want to stand here and feed you outrage porn in the end of the day, right? And with me, I'm going to go, no. All right. I want us to have a ruling class mentality, and I want you to be able to have the vocabulary. So when people stand here and talk bullshit, and you have the opportunity to reach out and touch them, I want you to hit them with it. And they go, where did you learn this? I want you to go, Tom P sent me, nigga. That's where I'm hitting from. Anyway, yo, look. Tom P from Pnoid News. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You know the deal. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming back and watching this video. It's appreciated. I got a lot of love for y'all. You know what I mean? Look forward to, you know what I'm saying, maybe doing some live stream this weekend. I'll holler at y'all. Peace be like one. Later.